Pokemon is a children's game. There's no other way to view the game. It has massive appeal to people of all ages, but it is certainly tailored more towards young people. However, today, as we go over the scariest moments in Pokemon, you will start to question this. So let's start with an obvious one as we begin with Lavender Town Syndrome. When Pokemon Red and Green came out in Japan, everyone loved it and thought it was brilliant. And as Pokemania began to sweep the nation, more and more people began to look into Pokemon and play their new games. But one location within Pokemon Red and Green is certainly a lot more morbid than any of the rest. And of course, we are talking about Lavender Town, the location of the Pokemon Tower in the Generation 1 games, and also the location for arguably the most popular Pokemon creepypasta ever created. The creepypasta states that some people who listened to the Lavender Town theme tune experienced headaches, and sometimes they were even compelled to commit unalive. Apparently, the drastic change in pitch of the notes caused people's mind to be brainwashed and then compelled into doing some horrible stuff. Now, as I said, this is a creepypasta, but have a listen and see how you feel. Next up, we have probably the most well-known scary moment to actually occur in a game. This is the Lumio City Ghost Girl. If you enter this completely random building in Lumio City and travel upstairs, as you step out of the elevator, you will find yourself face to face with a creepy girl with no walking animation, seemingly floating around the room. When this girl comes up to you, she will say, "No, you are not the one." Wait, come back. Who is the one? Why is this here? Any questions you have will never be answered as the girl vanishes as soon as she walks away. Why did the developers leave this in? What does it actually mean? We may never know. Let's head back to Lavender Town in Pokemon Yellow. Now, whether you believe in ghosts or not is truly up to you. However, ghost Pokemon are indeed real and do exist in this immersive world. However, whether or not actual ghosts are real is largely up for debate. In Lavender Town in Pokemon Yellow, you can find a girl who will ask you if you believe in ghosts. If you were to answer no to this question, the girl will reply with, "Tee-hee, of course. That white hand on your shoulder, it's not real." So does this mean that ghosts exist in the world of Pokemon? Let's head over to Unova and let's talk about Marvelous Bridge. Marvelous Bridge is one of many bridges in the Unova games, but this bridge comes with a weird secret. On certain occasions when crossing this bridge, you can find the ghost of a deceased young girl staring out from the bridge. When you attempt to approach this girl, she will vanish in thin air. If you go to the gate to the east of the bridge, you will find an old lady who explains that a young girl used to play around the area with an Abra before the bridge was built. However, what happened to the girl is never elaborated on. In Black and White 2, the same girl will appear in the strange house, where she will talk about Abra and the bridge before directing players to return to the Lunar Wing. And this is how you encounter Cresselia. The significance of Cresselia to this ghost girl is really a bit bizarre. However, since Cresselia has the power to dispel nightmares and its feathers give happy dreams, it's highly possible that Cresselia guided the ghost girl to the afterlife. Now, our investigation into the unknown takes us to Sinnoh. This is the Old Chateau, an abandoned manor house near the exit of Eterna Forest. The Old Chateau is known to be haunted and scares most of the citizens of Eterna City, especially Gardenia, who is often paralyzed with fear of this chateau, and she has good reason to be so afraid. If you take the time to explore this mansion, you can find multiple ghosts. Firstly, there is a ghost of a little girl who appears in an adjacent room to you. She will look towards the player before then exiting the room, and if you try to follow her, she will disappear. Then you have a butler who will appear at the other side of the table in the dining room. As the player walks towards him, he will move towards the kitchen before disappearing completely. Spooky stuff. Now, we should discuss one of the scariest parts of Pokemon, and that is the true nature of some Pokemon. The Pokedex is used to gather critical information that trainers and civilians alike need to be aware of for their safety. But there are some terrifying Pokedex entries, such as Gengar in Pokemon Sun and Moon, which says this: should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There is no escaping it. Give up. But this is nothing compared to Gourgeist in Pokemon Y, which states that it wraps its prey in its hair like arms. It sings joyfully as it observes the suffering of its prey. And there are so many more of these, but honestly, they'll need a video of their own to go over all of it. So let me know if this is something you want to see. And now, let's end with, while not a directly terrifying location, one that is certainly very, very unsettling. This is N's room. And this room may look incredibly friendly and childish, but this does convey something far deeper about N's character. N is being held in this constant state of being a child by Ghetsis, and this room is meant to show that N grew up confined in this castle, and as such he has developed quite a naive perspective on how the world interacts with Pokemon. Seeing you fight alongside your Pokemon and proving that they are your friends as opposed to weapons you are using is what will eventually break the brainwash on N. But these are some of the scariest moments in Pokemon. Let me know what other Pokemon games that I missed down below.